Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's Sports Ticker. 8 Husker softball players were honored today by the league as the postseason awards came out. Catcher Ava Bredwell was named the Big Ten's Freshman of the Year. She's the first Husker to win that award since the Big Red joined the conference. Outfielder Abby Squire and second baseman Cam Ybarra named first-team All-Conference. First baseman Maya Felder, shortstop Billy Andrews, and pitcher Olivia Farrell garnered second-team selections. The league tournament started today. Nebraska, as the number 2 seed, received a first-day bye. The Huskers will play Penn State tomorrow at 10 a.m. The Nittany Lions turn back Indiana 2-1 in 8 innings. That game tomorrow can be heard here on the Huskers Radio Network. Other scores from East Lansing today. Ohio State run-ruled Purdue 8-0. Wisconsin just turned back Minnesota 2-0, and the host school just getting underway against Maryland. Big Ten baseball today. Campbell routed Ohio State 10-1. They're in the bottom of the ninth. Michigan State with a 3-1 lead on Western Michigan. Third inning, Michigan leads Wright State 8-1. Afternoon baseball in the Bigs. It was the Giants beating the Rockies 7-1. Philadelphia beats Seattle 4-2. The Marlins over the Diamondbacks 11-3. The Yankees best the Blue Jays 5-3. The Reds beat the Brewers despite Christian Yelich hitting for the cycle for the Crew. The Reds win it 14-11. The Pirates over the Dodgers 5-3. The Cubs and the Padres tied at 5 on the top of the 8th. The Guardians game today wiped out because of COVID issues. Former Husker Bryce McGowans has earned an invite to the NBA Combine next week in Chicago. McGowans is one of 76 players that has been invited. Bryce was named the Big Ten's Newcomer of the Year by the Associated Press. He posted 11 games of at least 20 points. He's the first Husker since Isaiah Roby to be invited to the Combine. NBA action tonight, a pair of Game 5s. Milwaukee visiting Boston. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Golden State can close out Memphis as the Warriors have a 3-1 lead. On the ice, 3 Game 5s set to take place. Pittsburgh with a 3-1 advantage on the Rangers. Florida and Washington are tied at 2 games apiece. Same story tonight as Calgary hosting the Dallas Stars. And finally, former Husker volleyball stars Kelsey Robinson and Justine Wong-Aranchez have made the U.S. women's national team's 25-athlete roster. The U.S. women are set to play in the VNL Championships, which starts next month. That's the ticker. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
And Andrews swings, and it's a high fly ball. Left center and deep, and it is gone! The 19th home run of the year for Billy Andrews, and this game is tied at 3.
And the 2-1 pitch. Max swings and hits one well to left. That pushes Merrill back. He's to the track. He's to the wall. It is gone. Max Anderson, a 3-run homer to left field. And Nebraska is back out in front, 6-4.
2-ball pitch. And Gray swings and lifts it. Deep left field. All the way back. Minute. And it is gone. A towering home run over the scoreboard and left. And the Huskers take the lead.
1-1 to Griffin Everett. Sem's pitch. Shot down the first base line, and that is a fair ball. Scoring is Efry. Rounding third is Chick. He's going to score. Headed to third and being held at third is Anglam. It's a 2-run double from Griffin Everett, and the Huskers increase their lead to 11-5.
Felder swings and lines it back up the middle. Base hit to center. Andrews scores. Huskers win. Huskers win. Huskers win. Huskers win 5-4.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for another full 2 hours here on a Wednesday night, your hump day, getting you close to another springtime weekend. Graduation going to be here on Saturday at the stadium, and it's going to be a big crowd here at Memorial Stadium for that. 10 a.m. is when that festivities gets underway. I'm told you can't get a hotel room in town. They're all sold out.
Well, I've also now know where the hot spot is to take photos.
right out
It's
here.
right out here, right out
They're
front
all
of
over
the
the
studio.
place.
Every time I've walked up for the last couple of weeks, there's been at least 2 people taking photos.
I haven't seen it yet. We probably will get it Friday, but athletics will put out the release of how many student athletes are getting their degrees. It'll be May's the biggest one of the year. It'll be a big group, and congratulations to everybody getting your diploma this weekend. It's a big accomplishment to do that.
Yeah. I remember, especially at the end, because you're so ready to be done.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to grind out those last few classes, and you got finals. But then for these student athletes, like, we're going to have Ava Bredwell coming on here in a little bit, but Peyton Glatter originally was going to try to join us, but they're taking finals right now while they're playing in the Big Ten tournament. They're trying to get all those done and knocked out, and so that's a lot on their plates. But I mean, you probably saw the numbers from the night at the league. Just the academic numbers are just so impressive. So they do such a good job of balancing it, way better than I would have at that time.
It's just crazy how much is put on their plate and how much they are able to navigate it and work their way through. A couple of big things that I had in the ticker that I want to go back and hit on. And let's start with Bryce. That's really cool that he gets invited to the Combine. Only 76 players do. I'm not surprised that he is. He'll need to do well. I've checked a bunch, and Andrew was doing this with me this afternoon. You check a bunch of those mock drafts. Some have him in the first round, some don't. But I think a good performance at the Combine next week in Chicago may be what could kick him into that first round.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. There's been multiple times where guys have been able to improve their stock at the Combine and then starting to go through those workouts with teams too. I think for him, he's got to show that he can shoot the ball better. And I think that's what he's done since the season ended. I think he's really worked on that shot. Some of it was shot selection. In the beginning of the season, he was not getting to the rim. He was forcing up some deep shots that hurt his average, but then he didn't shoot it that well in conference play either, though. So he needs to show that he can shoot the ball, because he's not going to be able to just take over and go to the rim every single time in the NBA. And who knows who he's going to be matching up with. And if he draws a smaller guard, you got to be able to shoot over him. If you got a forward, or if you're playing the 3 or 4, you can't take it to the rim. You got to be able to pull up. So I think if he can show that he is actually a good shooter, and he has been. I mean, he shot well in high school,
Sure did.
but it just did not translate last year. The percentage-wise of his shooting outside.
Teams really got physical with him,
Yes.
too, in the league play. And he's not overly big. He will get thicker as he grows up and grows into his body more, and NBA teams will make him do more weight training than he probably ever did in high school. I thought he thickened up a little bit as this year went along, but you're right. Those will be the things. If he shows that he can stick the 3 or stick the jumper and get his own shot, that'll certainly help him. He's going to play in the NBA. I'm convinced of that. I just don't know if he'll be a first rounder or not.
The thing about the Big Ten is it is physical. And so we saw his ability to get to the rim and finish strong. And he did. He got in the weight room, about, I guess, November, end of November. He knew that he wasn't strong enough, and so he really he worked with Kurt, who came from the NBA, and they got his body a lot better by the time conference came up earlier, or I guess in January.
Yeah.
But it continued to grow and add on January, February. And so, I think he realized what he needed to do, and he'll continue. But I think that it was evident that he could get to the rim and finish strong. So I think that will translate. Teams will love that, and he just got to show that he can be a complete game. And his defense got better, too.
It did. He was second in the league, wrote this down, in free throws made. So he got to the line all the time.
At one point, he was leading the entire nation, but I think he was the #1 freshman. I think he shot more free throws than any freshman.
That could be.
In the nation.
I don't have that in my notes here, but it could have been. Yeah.
I think that was one of the stats. No, he got to the free throw line a lot, and he did shoot a good percentage at the free throw line, right?
He did, which is really good, because
Yes.
that you need to. In the NBA, they expect you to be able to step up and make your free throws if you get to that. So the Combine for the draft is next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you can watch some of that. They'll put that. ESPN News is going to have a couple of hours on May 19th in the afternoon from 2 to 4. Then it's going to go over to the Deuce, 4 to 6, Friday, noon to 1 on ESPN2, and then 1 to 4 on ESPN News. So you can, if you're a draftnik and you want to watch all those guys that you saw play college basketball, you can go watch and probably catch some of Bryce. So again, that's next Thursday the 19th, Friday the 20th. We wish him good luck in that. 76 players. There's only 2 rounds in the draft, so only like 60 go, but 76 are going to be there in Chicago.
I guess the thing is, when did Isaiah Roby go?
19.
And then Delano Banton
Did not get invited to this.
But he was in the second round. But now you've got two guys that are that's a big recruiting tool.
It is.
And so the way that Isaiah Roby has been able to grow and develop, I think you might see that out of Bryce too, because Isaiah Roby really came on and was a big asset for the Thunder this year. So for him to get more playing time, and here are two guys that are they're making impacts in the league, and then you get Bryce drafted. That is absolutely massive for recruiting, no matter who coached you, because you're still coming from a program that hey, look, NBA talent can be developed and produced here.
Trey did not get an invite. I'm not surprised, but I don't know that Trey's not drafted. He's not getting drafted.
No, I think he's probably going to do some workouts, maybe.
And he is. He's getting some invite.
Yeah.
He is going to work out for some teams and doing that. And he hasn't even made an official announcement about whether he's coming back here. I don't think he is. My gut says he's not, but he's not a draftable guy, but he could play some pro basketball somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's probably an overseas guy, which you can make really, really good money doing that. So he's going to get picked up somewhere. But I know the dream was the NBA. It just really set him back. The injury. Because he needed to show a few things in his game, that would translate to the NBA, because as good as he was defensively, you've got to be able to do more. I mean, look, half the time until just now, our teams don't even play defense.
Right, now they do.
So, now in the playoffs, you have some guys that are lockdown defenders, but, he needed to show more of the development in his game, and that injury really set him back.
He really could use another year of college basketball. I don't think his mind is set to that way right now.
Yeah, because
maybe I'll be surprised.
I mean, his athleticism is just absolutely off the charts, and he is so strong, and it is definitely an asset and would be an asset for a team. But he needed to, show that he also was a better shooter, and he just didn't shoot the ball much last year. He wasn't that aggressive offensively when he came back. I think probably because he was so focused on locking down defensively that I don't think we saw enough growth in his offensive game a year ago for him to be in the conversations of being drafted.
Let's shift to softball. Had this in the ticker as well. Really good representation for the Huskers on the all-conference teams, and it should. You finish second in the league, you should have a lot of people that are on there, including the freshman of the year. And we're going to have Ava join the program here in just a little bit. But Ava Bredwell, the Husker catcher, did a tremendous job. You talk about coming in and being a catcher. I mean, that's kind of the quarterback of a softball team, is that catcher. You have to call out defenses and do all those type of things. That's a lot of pressure on somebody coming to college right out of high school ball. And so good for her. And another Husker wins a freshman of the year honor in a team sport.
How about the ladies, the freshman ladies here in Lincoln? I mean, you got Lexi Rodriguez, who is the national freshman of the year, Alexis Markowski, and now Ava Bredwell. I mean, that is an impressive list of athletes. But yeah, I think Ava, a lot of times too, you see catchers come in at the collegiate level and they struggle at the plate because it's so much to manage a pitching staff. But I think probably those pitchers have done a good job. Those senior captains that are so experienced probably allowed for Ava to not have to worry so much about managing a game. Now, you still have those responsibilities, but for her to still be able to also produce at the plate, I mean, just a phenomenal year. That whole entire lineup is loaded with a lot of young talent, freshmen and sophomores. So still big things to come for them.
First team all-conference, Abby Squire out of the outfield, Cam Yabar at second base. Second team, Maya Felder, who's the first baseman, Billy Andrews, the shortstop, and Olivia Farrell, the pitcher. I was surprised a little bit that Billy made second team. I know she's cooled here the last couple of weeks, but, man, she was leading the country for a while in home runs, had a terrific year. Little surprised she didn't get first team.
Probably because some of her big moments weren't in conference play. And so you think about this team has had some incredible wins, come from behind wins, and Billy wasn't that player. Now, again, she's part of a lineup that, it's all pieced together that teams don't always pitch to her, so it allows for other teams to other players to be pitched to and deliver in those moments. But I think you look at Maya Felder, how many big moments she had, especially at the end of the season. Plus, they probably there's no doubt about it. This is the breakout team of the year, one of the best stories in all of college softball. But they probably were also thinking, okay, we can't put the entire Nebraska softball team on the first team.
Right.
So you have to limit that a little bit. But and then you talk about the players that also made the all-defensive team.
And they had a graphic up during one of the games this afternoon. They showed that all-defensive team, and Nebraska was all over that with Felder, Ybarra, Squire, and Courtney Wallace was the all-defensive pitcher on that defensive team. So Nebraska certainly well, and you get that when you have team success. And we talked about that going back to Bryce a little bit.
Yep,
I think
yep.
in some ways why Bryce didn't get from the league the freshman of the year, the AP named him the newcomer of the year, but he didn't get freshman of the year because the Huskers were way down the standings. I think that does matter when coaches and media vote on these things.
Yeah, it does. And we've had this discussion, and I know some people lean towards, well, for the freshman or newcomer, it shouldn't matter. Or I guess he won newcomer, but that's not from the league. But for freshman of the year, it shouldn't matter. Player of the year, it should. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of those people that are sitting in those votes think that it does matter. And so, yeah, I think had the team had a little bit more success, there's no doubt Bryce would have been on that list of freshman of the year for the Huskers as well.
All right, so the Huskers now know who they'll play tomorrow. They got the bye today. They got to sit back and relax. They're in East Lansing. They got there yesterday. You have to kind of get there before the tournament starts. They got to kick back today and watch Indiana play Penn State. They just played Indiana over the weekend. You think it's a good thing, right, that it's Penn State because it's a team they haven't seen, and they haven't seen Nebraska.
Well, you think they just saw Indiana last weekend, and there were a lot of hits, a lot of scoring, and they had to come from behind and have some clutch hitting. So, it's always tough. It doesn't matter how good your pitcher is. It's always tough for a pitcher to see a lineup multiple times through. So the fact that it was so fresh and you just came off that series with Indiana, I think it's probably good that it's a different lineup that hasn't seen our pitchers yet.
Huskers will play at 10 a.m. They have the first game tomorrow with Penn State. Nate Rohr is in East Lansing. He'll have the call here on the Huskers Radio Network. You can find it on Huskers.com or listen on the Huskers app tomorrow. So if you're at work, pop that thing on, 10 a.m. Husker softball, providing there's no weather. And I think I checked today. I think they're fine. I don't think they have any rain in the forecast tomorrow at all up in East Lansing. It looks like it's been nice there today as they played the 4 games today. Single elimination. So it's a lot like the basketball tournament that's set up. It's single elimination, you're out. The baseball tournament in a couple weeks is a double elimination affair, but for the softball, it's single elimination. And we're not far away from finding out the NCAA bracket. I mean, that's this weekend that comes out. We're a week away from regionals starting up for softball.
Yeah, we'll find out Sunday. Speaking of, I found there's not a lot of bracketologies for softball, but there is one they stay updated and they try to keep it updated. I don't know how legit it is, but they have Nebraska going to Kentucky in the Lexington Regional. Kentucky, the 14 seed. So that would be a good matchup for them.
I would take that.
Yes, and you would match up with more than likely Florida State in Supers, which is the 3 seed. But I think Nebraska's done enough to solidify not having to go to one of the top 8 seeds. So they'll probably, face one of the lower seeds of those top 16.
So that will all come out Sunday. Again, 1 week away from regional play. The conference tournament underway. Last game of the day is underway now. Maryland and Michigan State in the 5-12 matchup up in East Lansing. All right, here's what we have on the program tonight. Ava Bredwell is going to join us here at the bottom of the hour. Named earlier today the freshman of the year in the Big Ten Conference. We'll have that for you. In hour number 2, Gary Pepin, Husker track and field coach, will join us. He is on his way to Minneapolis. The Big Ten outdoor track and field meet is this weekend. We'll get the rundown on how he expects both the Husker men and Husker women to fare in that meet this weekend. And we'll also have another edition of the Big Ten Blitz, continuing to look at the Husker opponents for the fall. We'll check in tonight with Illinois. We'll also hear from Michigan, see what the defending Big Ten champs are looking like going into this year. So we'll have that and more coming up in hour number 2. 402-413-2400. That's the number to be a part of the program with a call or a text. It works for both. If the text is your preferred, we certainly can answer your comments or questions on the text line as well. That is, it's brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. We're back with more of Sports Nightly here on a Wednesday night. Coming up.
Fuel your curiosities and inspire your lifeblood with the first ever Mazda CX-50. Available now at both Woodhouse Mazda locations. The remarkably intuitive standard all-wheel drive Mazda CX-50 is responsive, making the driver's connection to the road natural across a wide variety of driving scenarios. An interior where form and function meet, making the cabin luxurious and durable. See the first ever CX-50 online at WoodhouseMazda.com or in the showroom in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place off 144th and Giles Road.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you gotta be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight. The iconic Ford Bronco and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
And the 2-1 pitch. Max swings and hits one well to left. That pushes Merrill back. He's to the track. He's to the wall. It is gone. Max Anderson, a 3-run homer to left field. And Nebraska is back out in front, 6-4.
This Friday, Nebraska baseball kicks off a 3-game road series against the Fighting Illini at 6 p.m. Central. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 5:30. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
You always dreamed of owning your own farm. Now you're living your dream, and it's time to pick the tractor that makes it all come together. Massey Ferguson has reinvented what compact and utility tractors can be and redefined what they do, making them easier to operate, more comfortable to drive, more versatile than ever. Massey Ferguson gives Nebraska farmers the power and performance to win in the field. Manzer Equipment in Osmond, Nebraska, your full-time Massey Ferguson dealer, proud supporters of the Huskers and Nebraska farmers since 1975.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections. When it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? They're even longer-term than the silent treatment your mom gave you after she found out you backed over her peony bushes with the riding lawnmower. Even though it could have happened to anyone. Oof, talk about long-term.
Hi, it's Boyd Minry from Dakota Mag. Give me a call at 402-463-4637 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night. Kind of wrapping up these seasons. You've got the Big Ten softball tournament going on now. Big Ten track and field will be this weekend up in Minneapolis for that. As all these sports are kind of winding their way down, this is the last week of finals on campus, graduation on Saturday. You're going to get your parking spots back here in just a couple of days.
It's already been better, I feel like.
It has. A lot of people are gone.
Once you have no classes, then it clears out a little bit. But, yeah, it'll be nice. You can park right there in the front, right in front of the stadium. It's
been a fun day. I've had BTN on a lot today. They started coverage of the softball tournament at 10. Somebody had a question for us. Crypto wants to know about the track and field meet. I believe it's on BTN Plus. They might have a part of Sunday's finals on the main BTN channel, but I'm pretty sure it's just BTN Plus for track and field this weekend. Yeah, I watched indoors. I'm assuming it'll be the same. They have a separate stream for the field events and then the track on the track, so you can watch both. And they have commentators for both. And that's what when we were talking about Darius, the commentators were saying that's not right. That's not fair because they didn't think he should have been disqualified. So we'll have to ask Coach Pepin about that. Yeah. Make sure Pep pulls off to a safe area. He's driving his way to Minneapolis to be up there for all that here this weekend. So busy time with these things all kind of wrapping up, and then it kind of drops off. You hit that period in June and July where there's not a whole lot of college sports going on, but it'll crank up, particularly with the Huskers in football playing week 0 over in Ireland against the Northwestern Wildcats. I couldn't think of the third team that I did for the Blitz tonight. It's Minnesota. So we'll hear about the Gophers and their spring and P.J. Fleck and how he did. So we'll have that coming up in hour number 2 of the program. Again, as I mentioned in the ticker off the top, 8 different Huskers were honored by the league today for softball awards. Huskers had 2 players, and Abby Squire and Cam Ybarra make first team all-conference. They had 3 players make second team with Maya Felder, Billy Andrews, and Olivia Farrell. I maintain Olivia Farrell, to me, was the key to this whole year. The way she elevated her play and the ability for her to get outs from the circle was a huge difference maker in why this team has done what they've done to this point. And Coach Ravel said that nobody is going to or has outworked Olivia Farrell. She put in the work, knowing that this was it for her. She dedicated herself to it and wanted to get this program back to the postseason. And she's been a leader, but then she's been competitive when things have gone maybe a little off the rails for other pitchers. She stepped in, taking the ball. You've seen her, hey, I've got you. She wants to. It's not even about her. It's about doing what she can to help this team win. And that does a lot for a team when they see a pitcher that's just battling and grinding the way Olivia Farrell has. She's been great. Another one of the hurlers was Courtney Wallace. She made the all-defensive team. So 2 of the Husker, really 2 of their 3 pitchers get honored by the league. That's pretty good. But joining us now on our Woodhouse Auto Family Sports Nightly hotline is the Freshman of the Year Husker catcher Ava Bredwell. Ava, thank you so much for breaking away from whatever you guys are doing up there in East Lansing tonight to get ready for the game tomorrow. And hey, congratulations. What a great honor for you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me.
How did that feel when you saw your name come up there as the Big Ten Freshman of the Year?
I'm really excited about it. I'm really lucky to be in the position that I am, and I would not be here without my teammates or my coaches. So it's just really great to have this opportunity.
Ava, we talked about what great pitching we've gotten this year from Olivia Farrell and Courtney Wallace. What's it been like to work with them, and what kind of seasons in your mind have those 2 had?
Oh, my gosh, it's been great. They are such leaders on the field, and it's been so awesome being able to kind of make that pitcher-catcher connection with both of them. And, I mean, all of our pitchers, but they just do such a good job of controlling the field, and I'm just super lucky to have such great pitchers to catch.
Coming in as a freshman, what was some of the big adjustments that you had to make in managing a pitching staff, a game at this level?
I think that with time it comes naturally, but I do think that in the beginning there's also, of course, a lot of pressure from, fans and everything like that, and you really have to manage your emotions when you're in the game. So that's been a really big thing for me. And then also being able to be there for the pitchers. And in our bullpens, we work a lot with them. And so being able to kind of translate what we do in the bullpens into the game with them has also been a challenge.
Ava, we were talking earlier in the program. You guys have had some just amazing come-from-behind wins. A couple of them have been at home. The big rally against Minnesota, the walk-off then on this weekend against Indiana. What were those games like, and what's it like playing in front of a full house at Bowlin Stadium like you guys did a handful of times this year?
It is so fun. We're so lucky to have such great fans. The energy that we get from them is amazing, and we really feed off of that, and so that's so fun.
When you decided to be a Husker and you came in here and even going back to the fall, did you expect to step in and make such an impact so early and to be so successful so early?
I think that a lot of that has to do with all the support that my teammates have really given me. I've really grown as a player just in this first year, and it's been because of all the support from them. So I'm really lucky to be able to have them behind me, and that's where all of my success has kind of started, is from them.
You grew up in Kansas City. How did you get to Lincoln? Tell me how that process went to become a Husker.
Yeah, so I actually committed before even really getting to come on an official visit. So my first time in the football stadium and inside kind of all the athletic facilities was actually the day that I moved in on campus.
Wow.
So, yes, I know it's crazy. So a lot of, my deciding factors had to do with the people here and the coaches, and I got to talk to some of the girls on the team before coming here, and so that's just been really important to me, is being able to have such great coaches, and so that was a big deciding factor.
Was that because of COVID issues, or why did you not get up here for a visit?
Yeah, no, that was all COVID. I actually got to come. Abby Squire and her family showed me around the campus, but that was just it. I just got to walk around, and we didn't get to go inside anywhere, so didn't really get to see much.
So when you talked about, building those relationships with those coaches and some of the teammates, I mean, what was it that the messaging that you knew that this program was going to be the fit for you?
Our coaches focus a lot on finding good people in the program, and they really wanted to know, I do calls with them and Zooms, and they wanted to know about me. And so that was so important to me, because I knew that they wanted the best for me, and they wanted people that were going to fit really well into the program. And they've done such a great job, and all of our girls are so amazing. We just work together really well. And when I came in, my first month here, everybody had their own job in welcoming me, and it's just been so cool to see all these players' personalities develop. And we just really mesh well. So,
why catcher? Why do you like being the person right there behind the plate, managing the game?
I like being there for my pitchers, being able to communicate with them. I like to touch the ball every play, so that's fun. But
love that.
I like to be in the center of everything.
For sure.
Well, I know you guys flew up yesterday. What have you been doing? I mean, have you had to do finals? Have you had to do anything to finish up the semester? What was today like for the team?
Yeah, so I actually finished all my finals on Monday when we were home, so that was good. But there are some girls that are doing online finals and stuff, so people are studying. And we did practice yesterday and today. We had some really great practices, so we're just kind of preparing for our game tomorrow.
Hey, the most important question of this interview, what do you think, Butch? Have you talked to Butch? What was his message when he found out you were the Big Ten Freshman of the Year?
I have not gotten to talk to Butch, but I'm sure he is so excited. I'm sure he's proud of himself because of all of those tips that he gave me.
For those that didn't hear about, the Pen Pal program last week, tell us about your relationship with Butch.
Yeah, so I started talking to Butch with letters through Carly in August, right when I got here. And then as soon as the COVID restrictions were lifted at the nursing home, I was able to go see him. So I try and visit him when I can. It's been more difficult in season, so I haven't gotten to see him as much. But it's been awesome to have that connection with him. And they got to come to our game on Friday, so that was amazing. And I think they really enjoyed that.
And they were telling me, Carly was saying that you've already signed up. You want to take over and help manage the Pen Pal program when she leaves.
Yes, I think it's so cool, and I want to help her and just keep that going. I want to try and do a Pen Pal game again next year, so I'm excited about it.
Well, you found out earlier today, Penn State's the opponent. Have you started, as the team started breaking down the Nittany Lions because you did not play them during the regular season? Is the scout underway for tomorrow's game?
Yes, it is. I actually just came from watching film, and we did watch the game earlier today, so we've been caught up on all the Big Ten tournament games.
So how do you guys feel as a team going in? What's the approach to this tournament? You know, I know last week we had Abby Squire on, and she had talked about, you know, you wanted to set a tone and kind of get some momentum going into the postseason. Well, the postseason's here now with the conference tournament. What's the approach now?
Yeah, I think that continuing the energy that we had last week when we were at home is going to be really important. And I think that we're going to try and take it game by game. And we're really excited. We're ready to go in and compete and do our job.
Well, we'll be tuned in tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Are you glad you're right out of the gate, the first game of the day, instead of having to sit around all day at the hotel again?
Yeah, that's going to be great. Yes.
Well, best of luck. Congratulations on your honor. Well deserved. Husker Nation really proud of you and your entire team, and we'll be locked into this tournament here the next couple of days. Best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
There she is, Ava Bredwell, who's the freshman of the year in the conference, the Husker catcher. That Pen Pal program is so cool. And I know you've got some stories that are coming out on social about that they basically have adopted a senior citizens home to correspond with.
Yeah, it started during COVID, and Carly Sievers, we had a podcast with her last week and kind of talked about how it developed, and she had volunteered during COVID and saw just the toll that it took. And so it's become a big part of this program and communicating with people that need to have a little bit of companionship. And so it was really neat to see Ava interacting with Butch. They were playing bingo, and their relationship is just inevitable. It's so neat to see. And again, that's a freshman. That is a freshman. And a lot of times it takes freshmen a little bit of time to get their bearings and to get to the point where they want to spend that time giving back, because it's a lot to take in being a student athlete, and it is genuine. And Carly was just bragging about how Ava said, okay, what can I do? I want to take it over when you leave. So she's a Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and then it's just astounding when you're reminded of the things that they do off the field too.
Great to hear from Ava. She joined us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. All right, phone lines, text lines open and available. 402-413-2400. Back with more of the show next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Happy Monday, everybody!
Yay! Sure glad the weekend is over.
I know. Nothing's better than a new work week. Yay! The proceeding was a dramatization, but it could happen now that a Monday night Powerball drawing has been added. Along with the Wednesday and Saturday night drawings, now you can also win Monday Night Millions. Who knows? It may change everyone's view of Monday. Let's have a 3-hour Monday meeting. Yay! Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Squirrel winds and deals the next one to Gomez. Breaking ball turned on to left field. Merrill going back. He's to the wall. It is gone. Colby Gomez sends a rocket out of here to left field. And the Huskers get another one on the board. It's 5-3.
This Sunday, Big Red Baseball will round out their series with the Fighting Illini at 2 p.m. Pre-game coverage begins on the Huskers radio network at 1:30. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first for all your vehicle needs. With 2 ways to shop, we make car buying easy. Purchase your new or certified pre-owned vehicle all from the comfort of your own home with available pickup and delivery options. Plus, chat with a sales team member, reserve your vehicle, and complete a credit application online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Or visit our climate-controlled showroom for comfortable shopping year-round. Streamlining your car buying experience. This is Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Nothing goes better with Husker sports than Fairbury. Fairbury, premium quality hot dogs deliver the home game experience to your family and friends. The highest quality beef, pork, and natural spices give you the best tasting hot dog and your hometown favorite Big Red hot dog. Look for Fairbury hot dogs all year long at your local grocery store. Fairbury, the official hot dog of the Huskers and Nebraska fans everywhere.
At Great Western Bank, they understand what commitment to community means. It's more than setting up shop. For Great Western Bank, commitment means growing together and serving their communities. With more than 50 locations in Nebraska, they are dedicated to making life great. Thank you, Lincoln, for allowing them to be a part of this great community. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. With game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots. And we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night, 413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question, or if you want to fire off a text. Great to hear from Ava Bredwell. Again, the Huskers will play Penn State tomorrow. They're the 7 seed. So seeding has really held today. There's not been a seeding upset today. There's still one game going on tonight, but the 6 seed was Ohio State. They beat the 11 Purdue. Wisconsin was the 8 seed. They beat the 9 seeded Gophers. Penn State was the 7th seed. They beat the 10th seeded Indiana Hoosiers. So the seeds held today. I hope they hold tomorrow. That'd be great.
That needs to happen. Let's make it happen.
That would be the way to go with that.
Does Michigan State, do they have turf?
No, it's grass.
Oh, okay.
It's a grass outfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks pretty good for
It
being played on all year.
It does look good up there. They've shown a couple shots that both of their basketball coaches were there. Tom Izzo and the women's coach were both there supporting the softball program. They barely got in. Only the top 12 go in, and they're the 12th seed. So that would have been kind of
that would have been awful if they were hosting the tournament
and not in it.
Oh, yikes! Yeah.
Rutgers didn't make it, and Iowa are the 2 that did not make it. That's too bad. No, that's not nice. I shouldn't have said that. The NBA playoffs. Have you watched much of this Boston-Milwaukee series? This is getting a little chippy. These guys are kind of pushing around, getting mad at each other. It's good stuff.
Kind of Boston-y, right? It's kind of what Boston does.
They do. They're kind of bullies.
And they've done that like their entire franchise of the history. I feel like it's like when you go to Boston, you have to embrace that kind of mentality. And how you play. Yeah. So it's like they bring new players in, and then you better play to that physicality level.
That's going on right now. We got some hockey on in the studio. We got college softball. Love this. You got multiple things to be picking from here tonight. It is, again, finals week. A lot of things starting to slow down around here. This is going to be a break time. I popped into the football offices yesterday. The only one around was the head coach, because he can't go recruit. The rest of them can go out, and they're all out and about. In fact, if you're on social media, you've seen pictures today. I saw Eric Chenander at some schools today. Sean Beckton popped into some schools today. So they're all out traveling, but the head coach not allowed to go out this time of year, so he was kind of hanging out and getting some busy work done.
It's crazy because, it's already mid-May, right? And so June starts when really they start coming here, and you're seeing lots of heavy recruiting start happening.
Yeah, I saw Zach Duval the other day, and he said it's the main group of the team. Let me pull my calendar up here. They start back workouts on the 23rd.
Wow.
So today is the 11th. They have to be back on the 23rd.
Well, we heard Jamie Vaughn last night say that they scheduled the meeting for the new football guys for NIL.
June, I
thought it was May 22nd. Was it not May 22nd?
If the incoming freshmen come on June 6th. So because a lot of those kids will have high school graduations to go to, like your guy from Minnesota, Emmett. Emmett, I think it's June 6th is the first time the freshmen kind of get here, but the rest of the group that was finished spring ball will be back here on the 23rd. So a lot of them have probably finished up finals, can get out of here for about 10 days.
Well, I was walking around the other day I can't even remember why, but I saw Chuba down there with a couple of wide receivers throwing the ball around. So the guys that have been around are still putting in the work.
They're still doing stuff. Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't necessarily stop.
Stops.
Jeremiah was saying, though, it's like, maybe now until then they'll go home, get recuperated, but then once you come back, you are all in.
All the way. And they give them a little bit of time right before camp in July, where they might have 7 days, 7 days. If they want to slip home and see their folks or go back and see some of their buddies, they can do that. It's crazy. These athletes in all sports, heck, the basketball teams are working out right now as well. Hey, buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 402-413-2400. Back to wrap up hour one next.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sapp Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family, and your safety is the #1 priority of Sapp Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sapp Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sappbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sapp Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
The 2022 Nissan Rogue Sport is street savvy, road trip ready, and always fun to drive. Equipped with standard features like rear automatic braking, blind spot warning, and high beam assist, so you can surround yourself with confidence on the road. Plus, explore the 3 Rogue Sport trims to find the one that's right for you and your lifestyle. Choose your experience and shop, finance, and purchase online at woodhouse.com or in store at Woodhouse Nissan in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place.
402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We do have a text from Sam in Omaha. Will the weather in Dublin be this hot out for the game, and is the stadium open air or does it have a roof?
No, it won't be this hot. But I asked the people out there, like, what's the weather like in August? They said, well, you just have to wait 10 minutes and it changes. But it could be rainy, but it's definitely not this hot. I just looked up what the average is, like mid-60s, and the roof was open. But it's a cool stadium. It's kind of weird, lopsided. I don't know. We showed a video of it. It's kind of hard to explain, but they couldn't build it just up like a normal dome because there was restrictions. You couldn't block the sun for the neighborhood that was on the other side of it. So it's kind of a little bit, goes on a slope, and it's got this unique design to it, but it's definitely open. But the grass is the turf is great. We have a couple of those interviews too. We should probably roll out too that talking about the turf, and it's a mixture between real grass and turf. Oh, so it's not just all real natural grass because they play so many games there. They play so many rugby, soccer, lacrosse, all of it there. So it's a mixture between both turf, AstroTurf, and natural grass.
A really warm day there is in the 70s. So more than likely it'll be in the 60s when we play that game. It
was funny too because we were, getting this content, and the field crew was out there trying to do some work on it. They had, I think the Black Knights were there, which is a huge rugby team. And I barely stepped on the line, and they were like, off the grass. I mean, they keep it immaculate. So it'll be nice for the players to play on something like that.
Wow. Protective of their turf.
They are very, very protective. There was like this line, this rope that you couldn't step over, and I barely stepped over it. And they were like, they got on to me, hey, please move off the grass.
All right, good to know. Sam, hope that helped you out there. But the Huskers will not, in first games of the year, you do get some cramping because guys aren't used to exerting that much in opening games of the year, but I don't think not like Champaign was last August when we opened that season.
That was miserable.
It was scorching hot.
And on turf, and a dark turf, right?
Middle of the day.
Yeah, it was
awful.
Middle of the day. Hey, our Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. 1 hour in the books. We'll come back, talk track and field. Head coach Gary Pepin will join us on the other side.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Shop Woodhouse Ford first and experience the difference. The all-new 2022 Bronco Sport is built wild for the thrill seeker, the sightseer, and the day tripper. A capable and dependable SUV that's ready to tackle the dirt, dust, and mud. Bronco Sport offers 4 models to match the way you explore the outdoors. Shop, finance, and buy your way. Online at woodhouseford.com or one of our 3 convenient Ford locations in Blair, Omaha, or Plattsmouth.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go is mealtime made easy. Just order delicious meals online for convenient curbside pickup or have it delivered. Want breakfast? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Need lunch? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Doing dinner? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Get pancakes, burgers, fried chicken, lasagna, Hai Chai Asian dishes, sushi, pizza, and more. If you're craving it, Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go has it with curbside pickup or delivery. Order today at Hy-Vee.com/mealtime.
Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here's tonight's sports ticker. 8 Husker softball players were honored today by the league as the postseason awards have come out. Catcher Ava Bredwell, who we heard from in Hour 1 of Sports On It, was named the Big Ten's Freshman of the Year. She's the first Husker to win that award in the league since Nebraska joined the Big Ten. Outfielder Abby Squire and second baseman Cam Ybarra named first team. Second baseman Maya Felder, shortstop Billy Andrews, and pitcher Olivia Farrell garnered second team all-conference mentions. The league tournament is underway. Nebraska's the number 2 seed. They got a bye today. They'll play Penn State tomorrow at 10 a.m. The Nittany Lions beat Indiana in 8 innings, 2-1. That game tomorrow can be heard here on the Huskers Radio Network. Other finals today: Ohio State run-ruled Purdue 8-0. Wisconsin blanked Minnesota 2-0. No score in the nightcap between Michigan State and Maryland. They are in the bottom of the 4th. Big Ten baseball today. Campbell, a winner over Ohio State 10-1. Michigan State beat Western Michigan 3-1. In the 6th inning, it's Michigan 18, Wright State 1. Afternoon baseball finals. The Cubs beat the Padres 7-5. The Giants over the Rockies 7-1. The Phillies beat Seattle 4-2. The Marlins roughed up the Diamondbacks 11-3. The Yankees a 5-3 winner over the Blue Jays. The Reds beat the Brewers 14-11. In that game, Christian Yelich hit for the cycle for the 3rd time in his career. The Pirates beat the Dodgers 5-3, and the rest of the baseball under the lights. Former Husker Bryce McGowans has earned an invite to the NBA Combine next week in Chicago. McGowans is one of 76 players that has been invited. Bryce was named the Big Ten's Newcomer of the Year by the AP. He posted 11 games of scoring at least 20 points. He's the first Husker since Isaiah Roby to be invited to the Combine. NBA action tonight, a pair of Game 5s tonight with Boston and Milwaukee. The Celtics late first half lead the Bucks 54-47. Later tonight, it's the Warriors and Grizzlies. The Warriors can close them out. They lead that series 3-1. On the ice, a couple of Game 5s are set tonight. Pittsburgh trying to finish off the Rangers. They lead 1-0 at the end of 1. The Capitals and the Panthers are tied at 2 in the series. The Capitals have a 1-0 lead late first period. Later tonight, the Flames will host the Stars. And finally, former Husker volleyball stars Kelsey Robinson and Justine Wong-Aranchez have made the U.S. women's national team 25-man roster. The U.S. women are set to play in the VNL championships, which start in June. That is the ticker. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
And Andrews swings it. That's a high fly ball. Left center and deep, and it is gone! The 19th home run of the year for Billy Andrews, and this game is tied at 3.
And the 2-1 pitch. Max swings and hits one well to left. That pushes Merrill back. He's to the track. He's to the wall. It is gone. Max Anderson, a 3-run homer to left field. And Nebraska is back out in front, 6-4.
2-ball pitch. And Gray swings and lifts it. Deep left field. All the way back. Minute. And it is gone. A towering home run over the scoreboard in left. And the Huskers take the lead.
1-1 to Griffin Everett. Sem's pitch.
Shot down the first base line, and that is a fair ball. Scoring is Efry. Rounding third is Chick. He's going to score. Headed to third and being held at third is Anglem. It's a 2-run double from Griffin Everett, and the Huskers increase their lead to 11-5.
Felder swings and lines it back up the middle. Base hit to center. Andrews scores. Huskers win. Huskers win. Huskers win. Huskers win 5-4.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome back. Hour 2 here of our Wednesday night show. So glad you are chosen to spend a little bit of time with us here tonight. Got a big hour coming up. We're going to talk about the Big Ten outdoor track and field meet. Head coach Gary Pepin going to join us here just in a few seconds. And we'll continue our trek around spring football around the Big Ten Conference with the Blitz. We'll check in at Minnesota and Illinois and Michigan, see how spring camps were for those 3 teams, all on the Husker schedule for the fall. But joining us now via our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, is Husker track and field coach Gary Pepin. Hey, Coach, how are you doing? Are you traveling safe up to Minneapolis?
Well, Greg, I am almost there. We're getting on the outskirts right now. And it's been raining a little bit and high winds, but I think we're supposed to have pretty good weather for the weekend.
Speaking of winds, have you had to battle all these winds of the spring outdoors? I mean, it's been so windy here in Lincoln. What's it been like as you guys have traveled around?
Greg, you wouldn't even believe it. Our high jumpers this year have got to practice on the new practice facility we have at this point 3 times. And the long jump triple jumpers have been out there maybe 4 times. And there was so much sand blowing out there because they didn't have the sod in yet that there were lanes that were completely covered on the track that we couldn't run in. And the wind and the sand was blowing so hard. Oh, man, I mean, it was like you're in the Sahara Desert or something, and that part's been really tough. But, yes, the winds have been pretty strong everywhere.
So what do you do when you have that limited preparations?
Well, I would say that in my 42 years at Nebraska, it has been the toughest spring ever to practice and stuff, not even close. So about all we can do is stay indoors all the rest of the time. The wind, you can get by if it's just wind. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do. But with all of the other issues that we had out there, it's been tough.
How about when you've competed? Has it been that bad when you were at Drake and some of those places?
Yes, and it has been very windy most everywhere. And Drake, the last day, was very cold. The best weather that we probably got was at Baylor. And then last weekend, although we didn't take many people at all, Manhattan was a really nice day down there.
It seemed like just yesterday we had you on talking about going to the indoor Big Ten championships. Does it feel like it's May and the postseason right around the corner?
Well, when you get my age, every year goes faster and faster and faster. So, yeah, it really does. It seems like it hasn't been very long, but we have 2 more competitions after this, so we're trying to hang in there.
Let's talk about your jumpers. What kind of chances do you give on both the men's and women's side for some of your jumpers here this weekend?
Well, that's a pretty strong area. Specifically in some events, the high jump is real good for us. We have lost our best triple jumper way back. He never jumped outdoors at all this year, and he was the conference champion. But we still have a couple guys that have a chance to score in the events. On the women's side, one of our very best jumpers, our little lady from over in Council Bluffs, she was jumping at Oklahoma. I think it was in Oklahoma, at Arkansas, and tore her knee up pretty bad. So she'll probably be out for at least a year or something. But we have 4 girls that have a chance to score well in the long jump and 2 or 3 in the triple jump. So those are pretty good events for us. The throws we should do very well in. Right now, I would say that the team as a whole is good to real good in the field events, and on the track, not at the same position, particularly with depth and stuff. We, of course, Darius Luft in the hurdles is one of the top guys in the conference, and but we're a lot better in the field than we are on the track. And I'm hoping that the women can get in the upper half of the conference and the men can be 3rd or better.
Yeah, how do you go into it as a team with the goals and expectations for a Big Ten championship? Do you have discussions about, hey, this is what we're hope to do, this is where we hope to land, or how does that work?
Well, that all starts at the very beginning of the year. And as a matter of fact, it starts before that. It starts back with recruiting and once you get those recruits on campus and stuff. And because a lot of times, like any of the sports, some of the people that you brought in for one reason or another may not pan out immediately. Maybe they were hurt or whatever. And then when the beginning of the year starts, most of your people are healthy. Well, then that can drastically change as the season goes along. So some of those goals that you originally had aren't very realistic by the time that you get to the end of the year. And so you're at that point, you're just trying to, do the very best that you can in these meets.
What's your weather look like this week? I'm sure you've already studied that.
It's supposed to be pretty good. I think in the 70s, at least most of the week, and slight chance of rain the last I saw. I think they have, well, I'm sure they have a brand new facility up here. I say brand new. I think maybe it's 2 years old, and I've never been up here and seen it. I don't think I've ever been to Minneapolis before, so it'll all be new for us and stuff.
I saw it last week, Coach. We did baseball up there, and we looked right into that new stadium, and you're right. It's only been up maybe 2 years.
Yeah, well, and we're fortunate with the weather because lots of the coaches that have been here in the past told me if the meet's here at this time of the year, you could get snow. So, it's going to be exceptional weather-wise, I guess, as compared to what you might get.
Well, at the indoors, Darius Luff, fluke crazy thing happened. They moved some equipment, and anyways, don't need to go down that story again. But how ready is he? How fired up is he for this weekend?
Well, I'm sure, if you have to get an athlete up for the conference meet, you've got big problems. And so certainly, but the vast majority of our kids are really excited about the meet. And we brought some young people that really don't have a very good chance to score in the meet, but because they're so young and we think that down the road they're going to be pretty good, we brought those people just for the experience. But Darius has been fighting some shin problems, but I think he's ready to go. Yeah.
Well, Coach, best of luck. Hopefully the weather's good for you this week. Let's put on a good show for everybody up there. And how difficult has it been this week with it being finals to juggle that for your athletes and try to get them mentally locked in to compete here this weekend?
Well, surprisingly, that hasn't been very tough. I hope it wasn't very tough for them with their finals either. But, no, we haven't had hardly any problems with that. And during final week, you just got to work around it. And the academics certainly take a top priority. And so I don't think that has been any problem.
Coach, I know the focus is on the Big Ten championships, but I did want to take a chance to promote the In Our Voice article that came out about Jenna Rogers. And, boy,
wasn't that nice?
She's been been a great addition, but then you see the impact that she's made off the track. I mean, that is special. It's going to make you proud as a coach.
Well, yeah, and she was an absolute star young in high school. And then her junior, senior year, she was good, but you kind of wondered, well, is she going to continue to do well? And then her freshman year, she was injured, and it was kind of a real downer year for her. But, yeah, she's doing great. She's a wonderful gal, and she and her coach, Dusty Jonas, have worked real well together. And, that's one of the things in our sport that's a little bit different. The relationship between an athlete and a coach a lot of times has a great deal of success as to how those people are going to do.
Good stuff. Coach, travel safe. We'll be tracking the results over the next couple of days, and go win some hardware.
Well, thanks for having me on, and go Big Red.
There he is, Gary Pepin, longtime Husker track and field coach. I hadn't even thought about that the new track facility, which is out by the Devaney Center, because it used to be right here where we're looking at the new football facility.
Which there's more pillars up to date.
There are. They've been adding steel all week long. But they haven't been able to probably plant a lot of sod around that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just they're out there kind of in the open air.
Well, I think they just were even, because I have a feature coming out on a pole vaulter tomorrow, and she was talking about just some of the challenges that they've had just to prepare for this season. But, yeah, hopefully they get that done quickly, though.
And it's totally different jumping indoors compared to outdoors.
Yeah.
It just is. There's just a different bounce to the track compared to what you're off of the boards inside. So I'm sure it's been a challenge for all track athletes.
Well, yeah, go read that article on Huskers.com, the In Our Voice series that they do, where they kind of like a Players Tribune type article that they tell some of the athletes' stories. It's really great and kind of gives you a little bit of perspective on Jenna Rogers.
She's a high jumper. She's got a chance to score, I think, this weekend for the Huskers. Appreciate Coach joining us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. When we come back, another edition of the Big Ten Blitz.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
4 in the 8th, the 3-2. Felder swings and lines it back up the middle. Base hit to center. Andrews scores. Huskers win. Huskers win. Huskers win. Huskers win 5-4. Nebraska softball opens its 2022 Big Ten tournament against either Penn State or Indiana Thursday morning. Hear all the action with pregame at 9:50, first pitch at 10 on selected Huskers Radio Network affiliates, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Fuel your curiosities and inspire your lifeblood with the first ever Mazda CX-50. Available now at both Woodhouse Mazda locations. The remarkably intuitive standard all-wheel drive Mazda CX-50 is responsive, making the driver's connection to the road natural across a wide variety of driving scenarios. An interior where form and function meet, making the cabin luxurious and durable. See the first ever CX-50 online at WoodhouseMazda.com or in the showroom in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place off 144th and Giles Road.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit FamousDaves.com.
And the 2-1 pitch. Max swings and hits one well to left. That pushes Merrill back. He's to the track. He's to the wall. It is gone. Max Anderson, a 3-run homer to left field. And Nebraska is back out in front, 6-4.
This Friday, Nebraska baseball kicks off a 3-game road series against the Fighting Illini at 6 p.m. Central. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers Radio Network begins at 5:30. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you got to be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands us more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight. The iconic Ford Bronco and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
The Huskers provide the best on the field, and so does Kubota. The new Kubota L60 Limited Edition Series provides the best package for affordability, quality, and comfort, like the deluxe Grand L factory-installed cab or spacious open operator station. Maximize performance with Kubota's best-in-class HST Plus transmission and many other features of the L60 LE Series. Experience the Kubota difference. Visit NebraskaKubotaDealers.com or see Kubota of Omaha in Omaha or North Platte Kubota in North Platte.
There's nothing better than the smoky aroma of grilled beef at the ballpark. This This is Anne Marie with the Nebraska Beef Council, reminding you to pick up a package of steaks or burgers for your next tailgate party. Whether you're setting up in the parking lot or cheering from home, nutritious beef is a home run choice when cheering on the Huskers. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for delicious beef recipes, grilling tips, and tailgate inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. It's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. We're back here on a Wednesday night. We started this last week, kind of taking a little tour around the league to check in on spring football campuses, spring football practices at the other campuses in the league. We call this segment the Blitz.
Big Ten Blitz. Minnesota.
Here to talk about the Gophers, Andy Greeter of the St. Paul Pioneer Press. Gophers coming off a 9-4 season, including a bowl victory. Andy, what were some of the main storylines for PJ Fleck's team during the spring?
Yeah, I think it starts and really finishes with rebuilding the offensive and defensive line. You know, they lost 4 out of 5 starters on the offensive line. The only person they retained is center John Michael Schmidt, who's a really good one. Who's probably going to be on the short list for the Remington Trophy. On the defensive side, they lost 6 of their top 8 when it comes to snap counts, including Boye Mafe, Estezio Tamiwu, 2 guys who were drafted in the NFL, and some other guys who got some chances as well. So it really starts with offensive and defensive line and kind of rebuilding both of those position groups, and they went to the transfer portal for multiple additions on both sides of the ball.
The transfer portal, I know they got hit hard a little bit at the running back spot. What does that position look like coming out of spring?
Yeah, for sure. You know, once Muhammad Ibrahim, who was the 2020 Big Ten running back of the year, went down with a torn Achilles in the season opener against Ohio State, they went to Trey Potts, and Trey Potts had a great September and then had a season-ending injury of his own. And then after those 2 guys were out, you know, really it went down to a couple of freshmen, and Kai Thomas and Marquise Bucky Irving, and both of those guys really had some aplomb in the way that they carried the ball and rushed for 600, 700, 800 yards to make it a 9-4 season. And then after the year, Kai Thomas transferred to Kansas, and Bucky Irving transferred at the beginning of spring ball, and just announced, I think, a week or 10 days ago that he's on his way to Oregon. So, but Trey Potts, like I mentioned, and Mo Ibrahim are both back coming off of those season-ending injuries. So those guys will be in the fold as they get cleared to have full contact once fall camp starts.
How big a deal was it to win the Axe, to end the regular season, and then win the bowl game? There's got to be a lot of momentum, I would think, within the program.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, any time that you beat Wisconsin, you beat your arch rival, and you win Paul Bunyan's Axe is a great year. Just because, you know, they've won it 2 out of the last 4 years. Before that, Wisconsin had it for 15-plus years. So, you know, just getting that thing, even if you might not have the best overall year, is a big success around here historically. So to get that, to, you know, kind of come on the cusp of maybe going to Indy, you know, if it wasn't for what Iowa did on Black Friday there, they would have been the representative with their win over Wisconsin. But you know, winning the Axe, contending to try to get to Indy to represent the West in the Big Ten championship game, and then, you know, winning a bowl game. I think, you know, the Gophers are 3-0 in their bowl games under PJ Fleck, and really feel good about where things are at with this team overall and the depth that they have. But, you know, like I said, it really starts with rebuilding the offensive and defensive line and really getting the passing game going, and they made a change at offensive coordinator to try to rectify that.
There he is, Andy Greeter, St. Paul Pioneer Press, talking about Minnesota Golden Gopher football. Andy, we appreciate it. Enjoy your summer.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Big Ten Blitz, Illinois.
And here to talk about the Illini, Steve Kelly from the Illinois Network. And Steve, what were, you know, coming off of Coach Bielema's first year at 5-7, what were kind of some of the big storylines in the spring practices?
Well, I think everybody was okay with the way that season went last year at 5-7. Maybe they overachieved a little bit, but then again, there were a couple of games they left on the table. There are a couple of home games that stick out in my mind last year that they probably should have won. They They should have beaten Maryland and Rutgers both in Champaign, which would have put them into a bowl game. But as it turned out, they finished, as you mentioned, 5-7 and 4-5 in the Big Ten. In the spring, we didn't learn a lot. There is a different quarterback. Brandon Peters is gone. Tommy DeVito will be the starter. At least he came out of spring the starter. Kind of a default situation. He's a transfer as well from Syracuse. Art Sitkowski, a guy that you guys remember, did not participate in spring. He had 2 surgeries on his throwing arm, his right arm. One was on his wrist, one was on the shoulder. He had those done shortly after the season ended last year, and he'll be good to go in the fall, so there'll be some competition there. But Tommy DeVito out of Syracuse would be the leader at quarterback. We did learn that. Beyond that, I think some things we knew were the running back position is pretty strong with Chase Brown, who had 1,000 yards, just over 1,000 yards last year and 7 touchdowns. And Josh McCray is back as well. He had 550 yards. Those guys will lead a 1-2 punch in the running game. How the offensive line holds up, we'll have to see as well. They've got Alex Palczewski back for his 17th year in Champaign, or so it seems. It'll be his 6th year here, so he has a chance to anchor the offensive line. They'll probably play him at right tackle. I think a question mark we saw on the offensive side is who's going to catch the ball. Isaiah Williams, converted quarterback, had 47 receptions last year to lead the Illini. He's back. I think they need to get the ball in his hands as often as they can. He's a pretty explosive guy, good speed. But I'm a little concerned about the depth in the wide receiver room. But they'll have to have some other guys step up. But Isaiah Williams will be the main guy there.
Steve, Illinois had one of the bigger senior classes in college football last year, so I'm guessing we're going to hear a lot of different names when they start playing games in the fall. Would that be accurate?
That would be accurate, but you're also still hearing there's a lot of Lovie Smith guys still here. You know, Brett Bielema came in and said they wanted to upgrade the roster, and as you know, Greg, it takes time to do that in football. You can't do it with 1 or 2 guys out of the transfer portal like you might be able to in basketball, but there's a lot of names that you will hear that are still Lovie Smith guys, guys like Chase Hayden and Josh McCray, as we mentioned. And McCray was only a freshman, but he had committed to Illinois, and then Brett Bielema kind of made sure he hung on to him. So some of Bielema's players are playing, but there's still a lot of Lovie Smith guys around. On the defensive side, there'll be a few names you recognize. Keith Randolph, I think, is probably expected to have a breakout year along the defensive line. Johnny Newton as well. A couple of linebackers, Tariq Barnes and Calvin Hart, who got hurt in that Nebraska game last year, as you might remember. He had a fumble return for a touchdown and then got hurt later in the game and missed the rest of the season. So they've got him back to anchor the linebackers. They've got a couple of veterans in the defensive backfield, Devon Weatherspoon and Sidney Brown, who is Chase Brown's twin brother. So there's some familiar names there, but there's still some Lovie Smith guys, and you'll find some new names sprinkled in. I don't know, the freshman guys coming in, I haven't seen much of them yet because they're not here, but they had a handful of guys that were here for the spring practice. How many of those guys might figure in? To me, it's always hard to tell on a football team how many true freshmen actually get in there and play.
Steve Kelly of the Illini Network with a little post-spring recap with us for Illinois football. Steve, we appreciate it. Enjoy your summer.
You do the same, my friend. Get yourself out on the golf course.
Big Ten Blitz, Michigan.
And here to talk about the Michigan Wolverines, Angelique Shengalis of the Detroit News, the defending Big Ten football champion Wolverines. All right, spring ball is in the books. Angelique, what were some of the big storylines for Jim Harbaugh's team?
Well, I mean, I think that once everybody got past the Jim Harbaugh flirtation with the NFL, it just sort of settled back in and into getting this team ready. And you know, I think everyone thought, Greg, this was going to be the spring of the quarterback battle between Cade McNamara, who led Michigan to that Big Ten championship last year, and J.J. McCarthy, the freshman backup last year. And then J.J. McCarthy has this shoulder injury, and did not throw in the spring. So, there's been nothing settled on that front. So I think that's going to be a really interesting storyline in camp. But, I think that they really had to focus on filling those holes left by Aiden Hutchinson and David Ajabo and Daxton Hill and also Mike McDonald, their defensive coordinator, is now at the Ravens, and they've got a new coordinator in Jesse Minter. So I think just trying to get all that coordinated on the defensive side while focusing on an offense that's pretty loaded going into this fall.
Yeah, it was such a proud moment, I'm sure, for the program, for Hutchinson to go 2 in the draft and they're locally to stay with the Lions. Well, give me a name or two on that side of the ball that may emerge as the next stars of that side of the football.
Well, I think you're looking at Mike Morris, who's a guy who has shown a lot of ability. I think he's an emotional leader. I think he's somebody you look at. I think you look at a Taylor Upshaw. Guys who've been there. Mozzie Smith is a guy who has talked so much about not being a finished product and wanting to really elevate his game. So I think he's someone they're going to rely on. And they've got at linebacker, they got Junior Colson. They made an interesting move to shore things up in the secondary, moving Mike Samerstill, a receiver, over to defensive back to corner and safety. He sort of fluctuated there, played a little bit on offense too in the spring. And the guy I really am curious to see, and I think that he will play early and often, is Will Johnson, the 5-star freshman cornerback. I think he's a guy that is really going to factor in and had a very good he was one of the early enrollees and had a very good spring.
Angelique, the 2021 Wolverines checked a lot of boxes. Beat Ohio State, win the conference, get in the playoff. Do you think there's a new sense of confidence now within the program that they did all those things that they hadn't been able to do for, almost a decade, I guess?
Oh, yeah. I really do think it's palpable. And seeing Harbaugh after the whole Vikings and that flirtation and not getting the job offer, he did seem like, not sort of defeated in the sense, well, that's not going to happen. That door is closed, so now I'll just really pay attention. He really did seem invigorated this spring. Like, okay, the decision has been made. I'm staying in the college game. The NFL's, that's probably not going to happen for him. Although I wouldn't, in a year we may be talking about Jim Harbaugh in the NFL, so I'm not ruling that out ever. But I do think that gave him a lot of confidence and this team a lot of confidence. But a lot of that confidence came from Aiden Hutchinson and what he was able to do just emotionally on the field. So I think it's going to be really, that's going to be important for them to, I guess you can't replace it, but try to replicate it in a way. And I'm going to be curious to see who fills that void. But, I haven't seen Jim Harbaugh this relaxed. I thought he was pretty relaxed going into last season, but I think he feels like he got that proverbial monkey off the back with the win over Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, and they're going to build on that.
Last thing for you, how has the portal affected the Wolverines as far as guys going in or them getting people out of it?
Well, they have picked up a couple guys, and the key is Olu, and I'm going to butcher his last name, Olu Timmy, a center from Virginia who was a Remington Award finalist, one of the 3 finalists, and he is a big body. And I think they won the Joe Moore Award last year as the top offensive line, and I know Georgia wants to argue that after their performance last season, and rightfully so. But I think he is, no offense to Andrew Vistardis, who played very well last year for Michigan, but I think Olu is an upgrade. And they lost their right tackle, Andrew Stuber, to the draft, and I think they have a very capable person in Trente Jones. But I think Olu was a significant pickup for this team, and he is going to be. I think he's really going to upgrade this offensive line.
Angelique Shangatos of the Detroit News. As always, we appreciate it. Enjoy your summer. We'll check in with you again in the fall.
It just like in a month or so, right? And it's going to be starting soon, Greg, so thank you.
Big Ten Blitz.
Angelique and all of our contributors joined us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse, first 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance and buy online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Jessica will rejoin me next.
So, this date was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for dinner.
For sure. For sure. Not really sure why I'm playing with my keys. I literally took an Uber here.
Oh, me too. Can I
Wanna
ride
grab
you
a beer?
around?
Start the night out right, because you can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Decide to ride. This message is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber. Copyright 2022, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more. Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
The Nebraska FFA is growing leaders
and building communities.
Together, we are strengthening agriculture.
The Nebraska FFA Foundation believes in our future leaders and the communities they serve. We believe in the future of agriculture.
Join us in the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign. Learn more at neffafoundation.org. Brought to you by Aurora Cooperative. Tougher together, Aurora and you. And Frontier Cooperative.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers. Today we're talking about renewable biofuels like corn ethanol and soy biodiesel. Electric vehicles continue to make headlines as we look for ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But did you know by using ethanol, you can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 46% compared to traditional gasoline and by up to 86% when you use biodiesel compared to petroleum diesel? Locally produced biofuels are the here and now solution to combating climate change. They are good for our air, good for our wallets, and good for Nebraska. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
If I won one of the 8 new trucks the Nebraska Lottery is giving away in Trucks and Bucks 2022, I'd be off-roading all the time through muddy riverbeds, across dusty prairies. I'd treat that truck like a tank. I'd be merciless.
Can I ride along?
Only if you wear shoe covers to protect the carpeting, promise not to eat or drink anything inside the cab, and polish the dashboard when you leave.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
1-1 to Griffin Everett. Sims pitch. Shot down the first base line, and that is a fair ball. Scoring is E-Fry. Rounding third is Chick. He's going to score. Headed to third and being held at third is Anglam. It's a 2-run double from Griffin Everett.
This Saturday, Huskers baseball squares off with Illinois at 3 p.m. Central. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 2:30. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself. That's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
They say if you listen hard enough, you can hear the corn grow. It's true. When you're out in the field, you understand its challenges and what it needs to thrive. Channel Seedsmen bring insights from the field to our team of Bayer plant breeders. Their knowledge inspires our product development, From your best ground to your most challenging conditions, our products are designed to perform in your fields. Visit channellistens.com to see our latest innovations. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night. Our numbers, phone lines and text lines available for you at 402-413-2400. Got some more reaction today, and it even popped up in our YouTube chat room, Jessica, about how much people enjoyed last night. Hearing the NIL discussion with Jamie Vaughn for an entire hour, I know I learned an awful lot last night.
Yeah, I think probably the biggest takeaway, again, we make so much of it, and it is different because, you can make money, how you can make money is different. But at the bottom line, student athletes have not been restricted on if they could work before. Now it's just a different kind of, so just, again, hearing it laid out like that from him. But then also the fact that prospective student athletes, you can employ them too. You just, it's got to be, it's a little murky. It's a gray area, but that's always been allowed, that even if before you get here, before you sign a contract, that a booster can employ a prospective student athlete. So just some of the takeaways. Right. That the rules are so gray sometimes, and there's so many of them. It's so hard to know all of them.
I think Jamie was trying to just tell us, guys, you're overthinking it in some ways. It's more simple than maybe I think I was making it this big complex puzzle that I'm like, I can't figure this thing out.
The rules are still in place, and again, even like the article that came out yesterday or 2 days ago that everyone made such a huge deal about, and he was like, nothing new. There was nothing new out of that. It just is reminding you that, hey, these are the rules, we're going to enforce them, and if something happens where there's something that's going on, we can go back and trace all of the things that went on to get to that point. So you better be doing things the right way, but it wasn't like that was any new development. So my Twitter was just full of people talking about the news that came out, but there was really nothing new.
And that's what he was telling us right away. He's like, guys, this is what has been in effect. They're just reinforcing to everybody, guys, remember, these are still the rules we all have to play by for this thing. It is a fascinating time that we live in this world with college sports, and it's not going to go back the other way. I do think that they may have to crack down on some people that have kind of bent the rules a little bit. I feel like what BYU did, giving that extra money to everybody on that football team, including walk-ons, that to me seemed a little bit over the line. I think that's probably a little bit of a stretch. And then it kind of, remember that blew up, and then people were like, oh, it was almost like it took a minute, but then all of a sudden it just blew up like, oh, well, we can do that. Let's do that. And because I think at first it was kind of for the first 30 days, it was a little bit slow playing. And then all of a sudden it was like, look in December, okay, so I'm a transferring quarterback. Who's going to pay me the most money? It's just it's crazy how quickly it escalated. I love some of the creativity we saw in the last 12 months. Cam Jurgens, the beef jerky thing. And that was really creative. That was a cool way to come up with a concept. Obviously, Lexi came up with her own clothing line. I think it's fascinating to watch young minds go to work on some of these things. And I applaud anybody that can kind of come up with their own little creative niche that they find. Which is cool, too, and that's another part of what Nebraska does so well is helping these student athletes build their brands, even when they don't have an NIL deal. Because bottom line, a lot of these, how you determine who makes what is based on your followers on social media, and that's been one thing that Nick's crew, Aura's crew, both have been really big in, and hey, we can help you build your brand. And so Sonia, who works for Aura, actually was the one that designed Cam Jurgens' logo, and now look how big it is and how much it blew up over the last year. But she designed it for him, and he kind of gave her a little bit of maybe something with cattle, back to my roots, and then it just blew up. And then it was one of the biggest talking points of Cam in the draft, and look how much exposure that got. And so it's there's so many layers to it, but at the bottom line, it's still, the rules are still the same. Yeah, they are. That blew up, and so did the video of him chasing the bull. Yes. In the corral. He was like, work never stops, or whatever. That was he was one of the first interviews I did here, student athlete wise, and that had just happened. And so he was
he was kind of embracing that. He thought that was pretty funny.
Dale and Hastings on our text line. Is there any way to hear that hour-long discussion?
Yep, it is on our podcast platform. So wherever you listen, if you do iTunes or Huskers.com, you go to multimedia/listen. You can hear it there. iTunes, search Huskers Radio Network. It's right there. Spotify, same thing. Just search Huskers Radio Network wherever you listen to your podcasts, and you can find it.
There you go, Dale. And it's well worth it. Jamie was just so good and so patient, because I'm sure I asked incredibly dumb questions last night, but he was very patient with us.
Same. But it's probably questions he gets a lot of times, too. But because I'm sure with coaches and seeing how it's changed the landscape of recruiting, well, what about this, and this? That, no, bottom line, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. So
yeah.
He's probably used to having to be, just completely straightforward with people, because you can make it into a bigger deal. You can maybe try to bend the rules a little bit. But bottom line, to stay compliant, this is the rule that has always been in place.
A couple of programming notes. We have one more Will Bolt radio show that's next Monday, and then the following Monday will be our final Trev Alberts Athletic Director show until August. We'll take a couple of months off. That will be timely, because next week Trev will be in Chicago, Big Ten meetings, and they're going to talk about a lot of things, including future scheduling for college football, so for the Big Ten Conference. So that'll be a great night to get him on. That is a week from Monday is when Trev's final show until August with us here on the network. Need to step aside, get a break in. Still time if you want to be a part of this show tonight. 402-413-2400. Back to wrap things up next.
Winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you got to be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight. The iconic Ford Bronco and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Happy Monday, everybody!
Yay! Sure glad the weekend is over.
I know. Nothing's better than a new work week.
Yay! The proceeding was a dramatization, but it could happen now that a Monday night Powerball drawing has been added. Along with the Wednesday and Saturday night drawings, now you can also win Monday Night Millions. Who knows? It may change everyone's view of Monday.
Let's have a 3-hour Monday meeting.
Yay! Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What?
No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agent Dennis Malloy or Annette Schneider in Bellevue for a free insurance review.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card. Free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. A couple more minutes left here on tonight's show. John in Omaha on our text line. Congratulations to Ava Bredwell and all the freshmen of the year and postseason honors of this past season. Those awards are not just bestowed, they are earned. This represents being prepared at the highest level on a consistent basis. Extraordinary amount of work. Well done, John in Omaha.
Yeah, and as we were talking about earlier, I mean, that is a product of a team success and what the team, how special this season has been, because there's no doubt in my mind that if it was close on any of those votes, they're, between, if you got it stacked up, they're leaning towards Nebraska players because of what Nebraska has done this year and the turnaround. And so, yeah, absolutely. And Ava, again, if you missed the conversation, we'll post that as well on our podcast platforms. But you heard her talking about, I mean, just such a kind, great human being, too. So to see these athletes, a lot of these athletes that are so good at their sport, but then to see the things that they're doing off the field, it just really warms your heart. It makes you proud that you cover them, that you support them, that you cheer for them. It makes you want to cheer for them even more.
10 a.m. tomorrow, they'll play Penn State game one of day 2 of the Big Ten tournament. Again, the Huskers had the bye because they were a top 4 seed. They're the 2 seed, so they'll play the Nittany Lions. 10 a.m. We'll have that here on the network. If you're at work, you can find that on Huskers.com or pull up the Huskers app. Nate Rohr will be all over that. He is at some little minor league game tonight, the Lansing Lugnuts.
Oh.
Because I saw him post a picture a little bit. And you know what Nate does? He scores every game he goes to. So he would have bought a scorebook or a scorecard or whatever, and he would be sitting there in the stand scoring the game. Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Everything he goes to, he scores.
That's funny. I didn't know that about him.
Yeah. So I'm sure he does. In fact, I should text him and say, post me a picture of your scorebook tonight at the Lansing Lugnuts.
Some of those minor league teams' names are so creative.
Yeah, they are.
The Lugnuts.
That's cool, fun stuff.
I feel like some of these pro teams that name their team should have reached out to the minor leagues to help them name their teams.
Yeah, that would be really good. All right, I'm out tomorrow. I'm traveling baseball tomorrow. What do you got planned for tomorrow night?
Well, we're going to talk a lot of softball because it's time of year, and hopefully they can go on a run up there. So we'll talk softball, and then the mental health series will continue tomorrow. We'll introduce you to a track and field athlete that is battling an eating disorder, has battled an eating disorder, and her journey through that. And again, just trying to continue to shed light to that and bring awareness. It's so important. And I mean, we saw just the outpouring of support that Omar's feature got.
Sure did.
And, hearing from the pros, the psych department here, that they get a lot of feedback from that, and when they share their story, that a lot of people reach out for help because they see that. And so it's just so important to continue to do that.
Great. We'll look forward to that tomorrow night here on the program. Again, track and field week. Great to have Coach Pepin pull off the side of the road and join us for a few minutes. They don't start till Friday. The Big Ten meet is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they're up there today, but they don't compete tomorrow. They'll compete on Friday. So we wish the Huskers good luck in that. I think we'll win a couple of events. I think both the men and women will pick on the jumpers and throwers. We got some wins in there, I think.
I think so too. Absolutely. I don't know what to set the over/under in, but maybe 5.
Indoor had, I think 5 or 6 champions in the indoor for the Huskers. So something similar to tomorrow. Have a good show tomorrow night.
Thanks. Safe travels, that 9-hour bus ride.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I'll be all cramped up, and I'll need to go for a jog or something after getting off the bus tomorrow night. Thanks to Andrew for steering the ship for us tonight. Have a great night tonight, and go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sapp Brothers. For 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska. Providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first for all your vehicle needs. With 2 ways to shop, we make car buying easy. Purchase your new or certified pre-owned vehicle all from the comfort of your own home with available pickup and delivery options. Plus, chat with a sales team member, reserve your vehicle, and complete a credit application online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Or visit our climate-controlled showroom for comfortable shopping year-round. Streamlining your car buying experience. This is Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with the new system. Call 391-233